actually going this because this is the time. We have a new follower by HWE Access. Thank you for following. I said that earlier.
Thank you.
And we are Geeks with Kids, the bi-weekly geeky podcast from a parenting point of view. I don't even think I said podcast there. I said it. I think I said podcast. Anyway.
I think you podcast.
Don't dox yourself on that, dude. You said podcast.
It's okay. It's because I'm drinking a coffee, at 9:30 at night. That's going to be a good thing for me later.
Hey, smart.
And, yeah, so we're the Geeky Podcast from a parenting point of view, and we're coming at you live on Twitch and eventually YouTube and other podcasting services. Joining me this week is Steve, Matt Moore, Hawk, and Marcus. How's it going, guys?
Not bad. How you doing?
All right.
Oh, we're good. We're back for another week. We're going to be talking about a couple of news items that I thought was interesting on the internet. I know they had that giant Resident Evil showcase last week, so I know I want to talk to Matt about it. I just played the Resident Evil 8 demo, and I peed myself a little bit. Anyway, so like we start every episode, we're going to ask what you guys are liking right now. Yes. So I know, Hawk, you're there. I'm gonna wait. So let's go to Matt Moore. What are you liking?
Oh, thank you. Made it. I was prepping for it. What am I liking right now? I am really enjoying WandaVision, like an exceptional amount. And I knew I would, but I you know me, I'm always very trepidatious about any new series, movie, whatever, because is this going to be the one where things go awry? And it is not. I understand it's a very polarizing show because I've seen people love it. I've seen people being like, I don't get what's going on, and I love the fact that people don't get what's going on because it makes you watch more.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Agreed. I've been watching. My kids have not gotten into the Marvel movies. We started watching Iron Man, but I think it was a little too violent for Kat.
Yeah.
She's 6,
Sure.
so it starts off with a guy getting shrapnel in his heart. She's
for sure.
Although she's watched the Dark Crystal anyway. So we've been watching WandaVision because it's set in the 50s, 60s, and now 70s. She's like, I really want to know where these characters came from. So we watched the Avengers 2 days ago, and she's like, oh, I want to watch more. I was like, because she's like, I want to know where Wanda came from. And I was like, you know what? She's in the second of these two big movies. Do you want to watch the first one first? She's like, okay. So telling a 6-year-old about all these characters without watching their origin movies is a little hard, but I don't think I could have gotten her through all of those films.
I like the fact that the show intentionally doesn't really rely on you actually having watched any of the material.
Exactly.
Like, obviously, if you have, you're going to get way more out of it, but you do not need to see it. They're treating it like a great entry point for people that are coming to the dance late with it.
Yeah, like
I love that.
Exactly. And if you're like our age, we're 30s-ish, 40s-ish, and you grew up watching like I Dream of Jeannie, Leave It to Beaver, like it was all over the place when we were kids. It's just like spattered with
beautiful.
It's so like Matt said, beautiful. It's such a good love letter to both the Marvel and TV that we grew up with. And it makes sense because Wanda and Pietro grew up in this third world country that probably had these things. They're our age-ish, so they would have grown up watching these shows too. And where do you go when you're going through all this trauma? You go to the things you love, right? Yep. And she had lost vision. Anyway, I could talk about WandaVision for ages. Me and Hawk have been talking about this. Like we were playing Destiny the other day, and I was just like, have you seen it? Have you?
And the beautiful part is it's 3 episodes in right now. So like it's
easy to get in.
Very easy to get in.
Is it 9 episodes for the whole thing?
I think
it's 9 episodes in total. There was 2 right off the bat, but there's 9 in total.
Yeah.
In that
which makes sense because they're about a third of the way into it, and that's when they're now going into the second act, which is makes sense given what happened with the last episode.
So Shouse is asking in the chat, Matt, is this your yum?
Oh,
Shouse, I love you.
We almost made it an episode without.
We were never ever going to make it out of this episode.
There's never going to be. If Hawk's not here, one of us will pick it up. Somebody's going to.
I've also been playing a lot of PS4. The game I've been playing, I'm actually going to be talking about later, so I'm not going to talk about it right now.
All right. Let's move over to Steve. Who is? Wait, nope. There. down there.
Okay.
Steve, yeah.
There you go.
You're
Yes.
here. So,
Yeah.
I guess my yum. I haven't been up to too much. I've been trying to, as I was talking to you guys beforehand, I've been trying to get back into movies and been having trouble sticking to things. So I figured I'd just hop around like various Steve niche lists of movies. So yeah, so I watched a couple of movies last night, but but that's been kind of my thing like the last couple of weeks, actually trying to get back into watching films, and I'm enjoying that, and I might I don't know, I might start writing it down at some point. So
You said you watched the 2015 Ring recently. That was the one you were watching?
No. I watched. What happened last night is I watched 1985's Jim Cotta, which is. I'm
pretty sure I zoned out earlier when I was trying to set up everything.
You've named every movie but the one he watched.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, pretty much.
Is it this one? No. Oh, so this one? No.
Oh, God damn it! It was The Grudge, right?
No.
I hate you, Kenny.
Anyway, Jim Cotta is this really terrible movie which starred an Olympic gymnast as the lead, and he had to go on a secret mission to a country to win a game of death in order to get the Star Wars missile defense system installed to piss off the Soviets. Anyway, it sounds cool, but it really wasn't that great. And I was like, I got to watch something else. So I ended up watching Sadako versus Kayako, which was the movie I actually watched, which was basically the villains from The Ring and The Grudge, the actual Japanese original versions, facing off against each other. And that was fun.
That's sort of
That
like
sounds cool.
We're talking about Godzilla versus King Kong later,
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
it's a nice little segue. Well, if I should have put you at the end. Sorry. Also, we can't yuck anyone's yum. Julian said over in the chat. Don't yuck the yums.
You monsters.
All right, let's move on over to Hawk. What are you liking? What is your yum? Yum yum yum.
My yum?
Yum yum. Yeah, your yum. Yum yum yum.
Oh, I got to bring it back around. It's The Expanse. You know, it's just the best sci-fi series I've seen in ages, and that
Agreed.
everybody kept saying Game of Thrones in space and that, but like
It's
by the
better.
time season 4 came around, I could see how how terrible that writing was, and that for Game of Thrones and that. This show, like every halfway mid-mark through the season, and that takes you to a next level of this story, a very complex story. It's so good.
I was
Like, I
telling
don't want to say
Hawk.
too.
I was telling Hawk because he was watching the third season, and I was like, halfway through the third season, something happens that made me yell so loud that I woke up my wife. Like she was sleeping. I was just like, "What? What?" And if you haven't seen it, you have to watch. It's the most realistic sci-fi show too, right? Like, it's, if there's anywhere we're going, like we want to live in Star Trek in the future. But realistically, based on how the world has been going, we're heading towards The Expanse.
Yeah, we're heading towards The Expanse. I love how it follows the BSG rules of space and
realistic?
flight and everything. Like very realistic. Frighteningly realistic at times. And that.
Yeah. Oh man, like
I just don't know.
I like that space travel is gritty in it, and it's not like you're just walking around chilling. They're like, you have to strap down because if you don't, you're flying to the back of the ship, which makes sense
and
with that much thrust.
make sure you secure all the tools and that.
Because it will fly and kill you. Oh man, it's so good. There's Adam Savage from Mythbusters is such a big fan of the show, and he's talked about the physics of the show, and he talks to the cast and stuff, and he actually had a cameo at the end of the second season. I cannot tell you how much I love this show and how close it is.
I think
to the
he just
books.
did a one-day build about something recently that was inspired by The Expanse.
I don't doubt that. I've
Yeah,
been
he's awesome. I love him.
Speaking of The Expanse, Hawk, so I've been looking up for looking up models for this show. But they don't really have any. They had a Loot Crate Rocinante a little while ago, but don't pay for that because you know that company, Julian, you're in the chat, so maybe you can remind me what the name of that magazine company that does models. They're doing a whole Expanse line, so they're gonna have the new Rocinante. Oh wait, you haven't seen that. The new Rocinante, which is just a new paint job on the Rocinante. Don't worry, it's not anything different. I think you might have seen it in the fourth season, the new paint job.
I just started the 4th season. I'm just at one episode in. So, I realize I have to stay away from, I can't Google this show at all. I Googled I Googled the name of one of the characters just looking for an image photo in that, and I caught something. I'm pretty sure I don't want to know at this point.
Julian in the chat said it's Eagle Moss. Eagle Moss, that's the one. Yes. He also says, Hawk's gonna make me give this show another chance, isn't he? Yes. You have to. The first episode takes a little while to get into, right? The mythology is big, and you have to there's a lot of politics, but not like Star Wars politics. Like this felt like real politics in the show. No, like it's so good the way they delve into it too, and that like into the political side and that, because like you're basically dealing with Earth, Mars, and the people stuck in between, the Belters and that, and they all have this like very well established like point of view and where they're coming from. And that Belters are these people who are born and lived in space their whole lives, and that as such their physiology is like really fucked up in that, like their bone and density and their muscle mass never developed like it would under the G environments of like a planet. Like Mars was supposed to be terraformed by this point in the series and that, but like constant threat of war with Earth, and that had them diverting all these resources and that to making sure they were to a navy. Earth is like most fascinating. Like 80% of the people on Earth do not have jobs because there are no jobs anymore. And we've polluted the fuck out of the Earth. Like it's just like
germs.
It's terrible, and the reason why they're trying to control everything. They're not the greatest people on Earth. But
that's how it goes.
Because our resources are all fucked up, right? It's sort of like now, but yeah. Oh my God, The Expanse. Hawk, I can't wait till you get up to season 5 so we can watch it week to week. It's almost done, so you have to catch up. It's every Wednesday. Yes, every Wednesday.
I could maybe catch up by Friday.
There's only
who knows
5 or 6 episodes in the 5th season so far.
In the 4th season, I think there's 10.
There's
altogether.
10. I meant like that have come out. I think we're on 5 or 6 right now. I can't remember.
I might be able to do it. I'm willing to undertake that challenge. It's such a good show.
I thought a main character was gonna die last week, like a main character, and I was like, and they would do that on the show because this happened.
Yeah, nobody's safe.
Nobody is safe in space.
No.
Anyway, let's go to Marcus, what are you liking? What's your yum?
Hey, my yum yum.
Wrong with you people.
So my yum, so I was able to carve out some time over the last little bit to actually start playing some games again, which has been nice. So I finally started getting to play Last of Us 2 in depth a little bit, and it is one of the most amazing things I've ever played / witnessed. It's so good. It had me so hooked and so deep into it that I started playing at about 10 o'clock at night. And then I saw the sun rising and said, "Oh shit, I should probably go to bed." I kid you not, it was one of the greatest things. Like I was just sitting there, and I don't know what chapter I'm on at that point, but I was just sitting there. I'm just like, "Oh my God, I need to keep going. I need to see more." Like it is amazing and brutal, upsetting, but beautiful all at the same time. It's so weird, right?
Yeah.
Just it's so good. So I'm loving that game. Also, just recently, I ordered a while ago and it arrived recently. I have right here this little table thing here. I have a Pandora's box now. So if you don't know about this, it's like an old joystick console.
Ooh, wow.
With 3,333 games loaded into it.
Like
almost all of them are all it's literally, if you open it up, it's literally a chip this big, and that's all that's in there. It's amazing.
Raspberry Pi of some sort, right? Yeah.
It's a Raspberry Pi system of some sort, but with a whole bunch of emulators playing a whole bunch of old games. It's all like old arcade games, and I just love it. Like I've been playing the original Super Mario Brothers series. I've been playing all of the Street Fighter games, Ninja Turtle games, like Turtles in Time, all that kind of shit. It's all on there. Nice. A whole bunch of PS1 classics are in there. I love playing Tekken 3. Eddie Gordo just knocking you in the air 100 times over and over again. I just love it. So standing here, I actually I hooked up a TV, put it up on the wall and everything, so I get to stand at this thing like a little old arcade console and just play a while.
Nice.
So I love that. And I mean, It has controls for 2 people. I can't wait to actually have somebody over who wants to play these games with me. But it's been a lot of fun. So I've really enjoyed that.
Does it have the USB ports in the front so you can connect like the handheld controllers?
Yeah,
nice.
it's got them in the back. So yeah, you can have up to 4 players total.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and you can you can have like controllers and stuff like that, which is kind of nice. I tested out my PS4 controller does work. It's not as responsive as apparently if you go with like just like an ordinary PC controller. Apparently those work better. So it's a little bit cooler there. But it's a lot of fun. I love it. Classic games, super fun to play. And even like the N64 games are on there and everything. Like it's a blast. So, and Dreamcast. Oh my God, I miss Dreamcast games, and I can play a whole bunch, which is super cool.
I have a thing that I'll send it to you later, but it's a place where you can get USB versions of the old Nintendo controllers. So those work for all of those types of machines. So
yes.
Ow, fuck. Send it to you.
Send me a link for that, because I would love to get some old school controllers for this thing. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing that I've been doing is I got back into some sculpting projects and stuff. So this is what's sitting on my work table right now. Ooh. This little guy. Ooh. He's still kind of in the process of being fiddled around. I'm actually going to take him apart a little bit and kind of redo and resculpture and restructure. I'm not 100%. I feel like he's looking too realistic. I actually want him to be more like a mask. So I need to take it down a bit. But it was fun to get back into that shit. So yeah, that's my yum.
So
yummy, Maddie.
Eric, are we going to answer the guest question since it's been posed?
Which one? Where did I
the
get
one
my
that's in the one that's in the chat?
The Yuck My Yum one?
What is it?
Where did I get it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I started saying it because a number of years ago, my friend Lauren had said it to me when we were talking about people liking things, and then other people. We were talking about bad fandom on the internet and how people sometimes get overly invested into things, right? And then that unrationally say things. Like, I understand if you don't like something and have reasoning behind it, but if you're just like, no, that shouldn't happen, and then don't give reasoning to it, I don't take your shit. Like, I don't believe that stuff. But we were talking about people who, unreasonably don't like things. And she was like, yeah, just don't yuck my yum. And I was like, I'm going to use that forever. That was something like 5 years ago. And I think I've been using it ever since.
Mm-hmm. That sounds about right.
Yeah. Anyway, what am I liking right now? Earlier today, I had downloaded the Resident Evil 8 demo for the PS5.
That's right.
And I started playing it. The demo's not long. It's about 15 minutes long. And I never played 7, so I didn't know what to expect. Apparently, I'm going to ask you about this, Matt, because I know you played 7. But it's gorgeous. And I did what I do with every Resident Evil game. I played it in the dark. For some reason, my surround sound was up, and my kids were out.
You hate yourself.
So I hate myself. That's how I did.
Yeah.
And it's gorgeous. Sound design made me, jump many times, and maybe I peed a couple times when I played it. I don't understand it, because I don't see where this is connected to the previous 6 games. I'd played all 6 of them. 6 was really bad, in my personal opinion.
Yes.
But I heard 7 was a continuation, but is sort of a soft reboot at the same time.
Kind of, yeah. They acknowledged the fact that 6 was kind of a hot mess, and are like, okay, let's sort of take this weird sort of 90-degree turn and then juke around 6 and try to pretend like it wasn't really a thing and sort of move forward. And they have so far reasonably successfully done that, and kind of going back to the ways that people enjoyed playing Resident Evil, especially with the 2 remixes they did in the last year. Mm-hmm. When they redid 1 and 2, part of that was to sort of get back to the old ways that people loved. I haven't played 8 yet. I'm looking forward to. I can only expect that they've got those mechanics down solid, especially running on the 5 and other consoles where they have. I think
it's exclusive on the 5, isn't it?
Would not shock me at all. Just if you want to make that game the best you can, throw in as much ray tracing as humanly possible to just ruin people's day.
Like, oh my god, there's you start off in a, you know what? I'm gonna spoil just the ittiest bit of the.
It's a demo. It's a demo.
It's a demo, and it's not even in the game apparently.
Yeah,
but you start off in a prison cell, and there's this moment when I was trying to escape from my cell, and there's a toilet, and I'm like, obviously there's something in the toilet. Nope, just maggots and shit, and it was like well designed maggots and shit, and the sound design for the maggots was so gross and realistic. I assume realistic, and I was just sitting there, I was like, oh fuck, I really wish I didn't eat this pizza right before I did this.
Okay, well, you just sold it for me, Eric. I wasn't, even though I know there's nothing in that toilet, I'm going to be rooting around in that as soon as I can.
When ray tracing goes wrong.
You can't.
It goes right.
You can't even go through it. I just went and I was like looking at it, and I just kept on trying to like peer in,
attitude,
and I was like, "Fucking no, they're not gonna happen."
Awesome.
It's wonderful, and I sort of want to get 7. I think I own it somewhere like on my
You
possible.
got it. I remember you saying you were hesitant to play it.
Isn't it all part of the PlayStation collection?
Wait, which one is 7? Which one is 7? Is that the one in the house? Like
in the house. Yeah, it's in the house.
Okay, so I have played that one.
Yeah,
that one was good because I remember I almost didn't play it because of 6.
Yes.
So so I have played 7, so I could actually go on to 8. That's
like
nice.
7 was actually like, oh, this is actually enjoyable and good and fun again. Awesome! I can't wait to play it.
Yeah, 7 was part of the
collection?
PS Plus collection.
I'll play it. Yeah. I'll play it, but you know me and scary things. Fuck. So the demo came out because we're moving on to the news. Because last week we had the Resident Evil showcase on, I believe, Thursday, and that was the day we found out that Capcom is selling a $1,500 coat because Chris Redfield also wears a coat. There's also some other stuff, but fucking $1,500. That's US. Yep. They also announced the demo that I said, and the release date for the game, which is May 7th, 2021.
Sounds about right.
The PS5 gets some exclusive stuff because
because
we're cool.
Because it's the game industry, and one console always gets something.
Because we're going to reward the people that were able to get one.
Exactly.
Console wars.
I don't. It is coming out for PS5, Xbox Series X, PC, PS4, and Xbox One. So people who don't have the latest generation can play it still. But the demo is only on the PS5. So
yes. Well, they're gonna you have the 5 cool. We're gonna show off. They want to show off all the cool things that can be done and how nice it is. Yeah. Obviously, you put it on the 5 first.
Yeah, they also showed gameplay from the game, obviously, and all the stuff they demoed was from the PS5, and it looks gorgeous and terrifying and slightly erotic. I don't know. Resident Evil is different now and confusing, and I don't.
No more coffee for you, sir.
They also announced this new game called Resident Evil Reverse, which is like a multiplayer game. I don't know. Did you guys see this? It sort of looks terrible.
I heard. I haven't looked into it because it made me nervous and a little annoyed.
Well, when you think of Resident Evil, you think of how good the gunplay mechanics were, obviously, right?
Right.
No. It has this weird, like, I'm looking at the screenshots right now, and they sort of look like PS2 graphics, which is not good for a new gen.
That's
stuff.
Really not good.
No.
Retro.
Or maybe they're trying to do this screen like cell shading esque thing.
Maybe.
I don't know. It looks not good. They also announced a crossover with Tom Clancy's The Division 2. So there's going to be some outfits and some limited time things.
Sure.
That seemed like a weird crossover.
A weird flex, but okay.
The one crossover I would have loved to see is if they crossed over with Warzone, because they had that Halloween event last year and they had zombies in it. That's the Resident Evil crossover I want to see. Plus, I want to.
That was a good time.
Yeah, but I mean, they put their eggs in the we're going to bring killer skins in instead, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, they could have done both. Could you imagine Leon and Leatherhead and the guy from Saw? I can't remember his name.
Billy the Puppet.
Billy the Puppet. Yeah.
And then finally at the Resident Evil showcase, they showed a part of the Resident Evil, the animated thing that's going to Netflix, and it looks pretty.
It'll be good.
Yeah, it's called Infinite
Yeah, they did
Darkness.
Castlevania well, so
yeah. If there's one company that I assume is going to do a good series, it's Netflix, right?
Yeah, exactly. We may only get one season, but it'll be good.
Oh god, oh, it hurts. It hurts when you say it out loud like that.
In slightly related Ubisoft news and Netflix news, Immortals Phoenix Rising has a crossover tie-in right now with Netflix's animated show Blood of Zeus, which is a mythology anime that they have.
Cool.
Basically, there's
Also, a very cool show if you haven't watched it.
I haven't seen it yet, so this is
It's
sort of
good.
making me want
It's
to
worth.
watch it.
It's worth watching.
Is it actually based on mythology, slightly?
Yeah, source material. It has to take some liberties, but it's generally pretty entertaining.
Sort of like Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Loosely based.
Exactly.
So you have a
I
couple
love
of
that
missions.
game.
Yeah. So I'm gonna play it again. I'm gonna pop it back on and do this limited thing, which apparently gives you some cool rewards.
Neat.
Yeah. What other news do we have out there? I'm gonna save that for later. Apparently, there's a Witcher prequel, live action prequel series coming, and it's gonna be led by Night Flyers actress Jodie Turner-Smith.
Cool.
It sounds cool. It's based on, it's set 1200 years before the events of The Witcher, and will tell the creation of the first prototype Witcher and the events that led to the conjunction of the spheres.
That's cool.
Yeah, an event that merged the world of monsters, men's, and elves. Men's.
Men's.
Monsters, men's, and elves.
Cool. Yeah, thumbs up, thumbs down. I think it's cool.
It's a
More
cool bit of
Witcher's good.
mythology from that universe. So I mean, doing a live action on that, it's awesome because
I don't recall there being books on it, so that sounds awesome.
It's been talked about in between the books and the games. They've discussed it without going into detail, so it's kind of a blank slate.
Exactly. Rumored today, hitting the internet, that there's a HBO sideshow. HBO Max is creating a live action Harry Potter TV series.
Oh yeah.
Money. I don't. Nothing. I don't need to see more Harry Potter. Nope.
I would care more about it if it wasn't on HBO Max, because when you have a premium subscription for a premium subscription, I don't care that much about it.
Yeah, it's not something we can get in Canada.
Same.
Yeah, well, we can, but it's really expensive for us.
Yeah. Apparently,
you have to get Crave, and then you have to get HBO on Crave, and then you can get HBO Max on HBO on
fuck
Crave.
That. Three
You're
things.
looking at like $30 for it. I don't care.
I didn't pay for
Streaming
Mulan.
service
I'm not gonna pay
inception.
for that. No.
Yeah, like it is. It's just the concept is kind of neat, but I don't care enough about it to spend that kind of money on it.
That's crazy.
Let's see. Two more things on the news front. We're getting new Dragonlance novels announced today. That's this D&D books. Apparently, Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman have confirmed that the series is actually moving forward. There had been some rights
there was
issues
some legal issues. Yeah.
with Wizards of the Coast. So now that it's all
That's
settled,
good.
we're gonna get some new books, which is, I don't know. I've never read the Dragonlance novels. I talked to Spears about it today. I know, weird. And apparently there are like 3 trilogies I have to read now before this one comes
A
out.
lot.
Fuck.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
I'll read it, and I look forward to it.
It's the one series that I wish they would make properly. I'm glad that they haven't. Because
Okay. Yeah, you did add that properly, because there was that one movie, one animated one.
Yes.
Joe Manganiello or whatever, the guy who played
Mangello.
Mangello is writing a script for Dragonlance Dragonlance movie. So apparently it got greenlit, so hopefully
it's been kind of in development hell for decades. It's just no one's been able to produce a script that either at the time was like actually able to be made, or that was good enough that it wouldn't just like
That's the story of Dungeons and Dragons, though.
Dragonlance is like the last fan base that hasn't gone full toxic with its fandom.
Sure.
And I think that's why everyone's been hesitant to not push it forward, because that's the one thing that would just completely divide a fan base.
Oh fuck, I'm bleeding. Interesting. Okay.
In my opinion, anyways.
Weird. I'm bleeding.
That's
What?
Hey, what?
I don't know. My foot is bleeding, which is weird.
Where are you bleeding from?
My
Yeah,
foot.
that's important.
Which
Okay.
Did you
is-
step on a Lego randomly?
It's just became like a Rescue 911 show.
Yeah.
If you need help, blink twice.
Well, I think the blood has stopped. I just see footprints of blood on my floor, which is really gross.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm a parent. This is what happens.
Random foot
You know what?
bleeding.
Man,
I'm gonna go get some Kleenex. You guys should talk about the Godzilla versus Kong trailer that just came out.
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
So,
We're live.
Wow.
Okay.
so who's the big Godzilla fan here? I'm very sort of neutral about
Right
the whole
here.
thing. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huge.
So let's
huge
start with you
Godzilla.
then. What,
Yes.
Marcus? What did you think?
I'm very excited for it. Mainly because I actually really like the first two Godzilla remake movies. The most recent one, King of Monsters, I think it was, or something.
Yeah.
I liked it. It wasn't. I think I actually liked the first one better as like an actual movie, but that introduced the Ghidorah and like the idea
Right.
of like the Titans and like this ongoing mythology of battles and like how all the Titans kind of killed each other and now there's only a few left. So for that, I'm very thankful, and I was just happy to see like Mothra come into the scene and Rodan and stuff like that.
Right.
Why did you say that name? So like I was very happy to see all that stuff in those movies. But of course, you know, the thing that's missing for me is the worry about, you know, what will happen to Godzilla. You know, he's going to come out on top in both cases in these movies. You're like, Godzilla's going to kick some ass. And then even in the first one, when they showed him down, I'm like, please, this son of a bitch is going to get up any minute now and he's going to walk out into the sea. And there he goes. He wakes up. He's like, oh, I'm done. Walks out into the sea just as he would in the end of every other Godzilla movie. And I was like, bravo, loved it. This one finally kind of gave people the element of like, oh shit, these are two characters that we've seen in movies that have both started their movies and we love them both. Who's going to win? Will one win? What's going to happen? Are they going to team up? Everybody's pretty much assuming that they're going to team up and it's going to be like that kind of thing. Very, very Batman versus Superman.
What?
But I was very, yeah. I was very happy to see though that it was very clear in the first trailer that it's like Godzilla's starting some shit.
Mhm.
And we're sending in Kong kind of against his will to fight this battle for us because we can't do it.
Hmm.
And I like that. I'm happy to see that it's going to be like, you know, like, let's kill this fucker and keep the big ape because he's the lesser of the two evils. And I like that just because now we have stakes. We have something that we're actually like, what's going on? Now, I'm not. If you guys have seen it, I'm not sure if you've read up on it, but there's already been like, you know, possible ideas of what's actually happening here, like it's Mecha Godzilla, that kind of stuff. I'm kind of hoping it's not Mecha Godzilla. I really hope that this is actually Godzilla pissed off about something else, and we'll find out the reason for it. Maybe there'll be a reckoning or like okay, we get it. Sorry, our bad. But I really do want it to be like full on Godzilla, real Godzilla, and full on Kong, like trying to fucking kill each other. I want to see almost one, like I don't want either one of them to actually die, but I want to see one so close to death that you're just like, oh fuck, there's no way. I want to see it. I don't know if I'll get it, but that's kind of what I want to see.
I like that they made it a point in Skull Island to say that Kong hadn't finished growing, that he was still like like a baby.
Well, I still remember when they did that, when they said that, because it made sense to me, because I remember when I first saw him, I was like, holy shit, this is the biggest Kong we've ever seen. Mm-hmm. And then when they said he hasn't fully grown, and then you saw all the like fully grown bones of like his ancestors or his family or whatever, I got really excited because it was that exact moment that I was like, oh, there's going to be a Godzilla fight, isn't there? There's going to be him and Godzilla. That's going to happen one day. They're setting it up. And, you know, I was rewarded.
Matt Moore, there's a message for you in the chat from Heel Hugs, who just subscribed at tier 1 for 4 months. He says, I want to see a tornado dab from Matt. So,
I don't even know what that means.
Maybe you have to spin and dab.
Do you want me to do it? I'll do it.
I mean, I'll do it because, you know, we appreciate all our fans, all our subscribers, and I've never been one to say no.
Don't hurt yourself.
Oh, that's unavoidable at this point in time. I'm 40 goddamn years old. I'm gonna hurt myself.
Watch out for the fan. Badly. There's a fan right there. Don't hurt yourself.
His only fan?
My only fan.
That's your only fan. Subscribe to see Matt's only fan. There will be nudity.
We can only hope.
Yeah, wait, what am I tornado dabbing with? I could probably specify that right now, right?
Your penis.
I would sub to that OnlyFans.
This is Twitch. We're not doing that.
No, it's for your OnlyFans. He's done.
That's pretty good.
That was really good.
Ben hurt my whole
yourself.
side. Oh no, I did hurt myself. I think I'm
Just-
also randomly
are you-
bleeding, but it's okay.
You're bleeding. Okay, check your feet.
No, I'm not bleeding from my feet.
Oh God.
No, I know. Only one of us is bleeding. I think I stopped. Maybe not.
Oh, good
We'll
lord.
see. The side of my foot is wet
Me.
right now. That's
Stand on a paper towel, you'll be fine.
that's
So
what I'm
wet.
doing now. I never watched the last Godzilla movie. Did they
Yeah.
ever explain where Quicksilver went? I don't know what the name of that guy is. Kick-Ass?
No, those characters never returned.
No.
No,
Yeah.
it was a
That-
totally
it-
different set of characters.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm surprised that in this one it seems that you're actually having some return characters.
Yeah, because I saw 11 in the trailer.
Quite a few,
Yeah.
actually, from what I saw.
Yeah. We have like at least 4 or 5 returning characters.
Which is
like
good. I mean,
human.
you kind of want that in a crossover film.
Well,
Otherwise,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, like with the new Godzilla reboot, I actually wasn't a big fan of the first movie because it was. I mean, I understand that you got to have some human characters to have something to root for, and to have a different perspective. But I felt like the human characters drove that story a little too much because they always had to be in exactly the right place at the right time. Otherwise, everything would go to crap, right?
Yeah,
So I like the second one a little bit better, despite again some of the pacing issues. But it delivered on what we wanted, which was monster fights, right?
Yes,
but
for sure.
I think that's a good sign that they actually are keeping some characters because at least now. Hopefully it's like a true sequel. We don't have to introduce a whole bunch of new people again, and we can just get on with it, So
Well, they seem to be continuing on with the whole thing about Monarch.
Yeah.
right.
They didn't really
speaking of
talk
Monarch,
about that in the first
I have a
movie, did they?
question. Yeah, they did. They talked about different things because they wanted that to branch out into Kong, the Kong movie, which happened afterwards. Speaking of the Kong movie, they introduced Tom Hiddleston's character. Tom Hiddleston in that movie, right? Was Charles Dance that character in the second Godzilla movie? Like that's what I remember the rumor being.
I haven't seen Kong.
Like
No, I really don't think so. I really don't think so.
Okay.
Because there was no confirmation of that or anything, but I really don't like it. To me, that doesn't fly. That doesn't really track to me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there would have been more, like something would have been said, something would have been kind of like pointed out, but there really wasn't. I'm interested to see what the deal is with what's his name, Alexander Skarsgård, I think it is.
Yeah.
Who's in there?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm because I honestly I love him in pretty much everything he ever does. I love me any Skarsgård, man. You put him in any movie. That family is that's a dynasty right there. That's an acting dynasty.
Yeah.
But like I'm really excited just to see who he is and like what his connection is because he's the one in the trailer citing Kong is our only hope. So it's like shit, Kong? Have you been with him? Have you been hanging out? Like you guys pen pals? Like tell
Does
me
he know
what's
you?
going
Does
on?
he call you at home?
He's the man in black. He knows everything.
So yeah,
That's a
I'm
stand,
excited
my
to know more.
I look forward to it. I know it was supposed to be released last year, but because of the state of the world, we're getting it this year. Hopefully, wherever we're gonna see it, I don't know.
Streaming.
Theaters,
HBO
streaming?
Max.
HBO
Oh,
Max.
fuck off.
I'm actually not joking. It's actually going to be on HBO Max.
Yeah, I know, but I know. One thing I like, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but like, there's a one shot where Kong whips out his Stormbreaker. So he's got an axe that seems to be somewhat magical because Godzilla shoots his like fire breath and he's like jumping through the air and like catching the breath with the axe and like almost like moving the breath with the axe. And I was like,
yeah, I'm not quite sure.
I didn't see anything in his hand.
Marvel crossover confirmed.
The tail end of that trailer where he's like jumping at it. I don't know. It looks like it's something.
I think he grabbed something from the ship, right? It looked like he
It looks
grabbed
like
no, it's 100%. It is like a twisted like rope-like branchy kind of thing, very similar to Groot's arm. And then on the end of it, it's an axe, but it looks like bare rock, almost like crystal.
Okay.
And it's like it's shaped like an axe. And if you need confirmation on it, it's in the toys that have been released actually have Kong with this axe.
Oh, the toys.
So what I'm hearing,
the toys give everything.
Thor to Kong versus Godzilla confirmed.
Yes,
Like
yes,
we're doing a
that's
Marvel
exactly.
crossover in this.
It's Love and Thunder or whatever, but with Kong.
It'll crossover with Multiverse of Madness. We'll just have them cameo.
I'm down with
Oh
this.
fuck, that'd be amazing.
I told you guys not to look at the Lego for this year because they already released all the Eternals.
Son, I always look at the Legos. The Legos tell me everything I need to know.
I know, but now I've seen what the Immortals look like in their costumes, which is sort of not what I wanted to see.
I mean,
you know what? It's one of those things where, like, again, it's not what I wanted. I kind of wanted like individualistic styles, but
I like
they all kind of look like. It's fine, but it looks like we're the Power Rangers, and these are our uniforms.
What they're like in the comic, though. Yeah.
I know, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like that as a thing. I want more individual, but whatever, it's fine. It'll be cool.
It is what it is.
I'm still looking forward to it. I love that franchise. But anyway, let's move to the main topic of the evening, because half of us are PS5 people and half of us are PS4 users. And the next generation, or the current generation, I should say, is upon us now. We thought we'd take a look back at the last generation. Since we're all PS4 players, we're going to talk about the PS4 and our favorite games. They might not necessarily be the best games, but definitely the games that maybe meant the most to us, because you get an attachment. And I know some of the best games of our lifetimes came out during that time. The original release date for the PS4 was November 15, 2013. So this is the 8th year it's coming out. That's crazy. It's crazy to think of how much time has passed since that release. So is there anyone that wants to go first? What's their favorite game from the last generation? Hawk, don't go first because we're probably sharing the same game. Let's go with Matt Moore. I just want to go with the bearded.
I'm going to talk about how great Fortnite is.
God damn it.
Really?
No, not at all. Fuck that.
Matt, honestly, I wouldn't even blame you because at this point, I feel like if you liked it that much, I would applaud you for it.
Yeah.
No, it's fun, but I'm not talking about Fortnite because I don't want to. It's gone back to irritating me a little bit again. So
Did the Mando season end?
No, it's got another few weeks still, but I've maxed it out, so now I'm just kind of bored. No, I had a list just in case anyone said the ones I had, so I'm going to start with the one my top of my list, and I'll mention the other two that make it.
We'll do the honorable mentions after.
That's what I mean. I'll do those after in case someone else brings it up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about Dead by Daylight.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yep.
I like it.
Which I discovered very late. It was released June of 2017 on the PlayStation. It was out for Microsoft the year before. So it had a year on Microsoft, and then it was released June of 2017. As of August 2020, across all platforms, because it's available on pretty much every single platform right now for crossplay. It has over 25 million copies sold.
Damn.
It is a 1v4 online arena game where basically 4 players play survivors, 1 player plays a killer. The survivor's job is to find 5 generators scattered around an arena map and activate them, which will then trigger the exit door. I don't know why this random window opened up while I was in the middle of talking. That's very annoying. No, it was Adobe trying to update my Flash player because I haven't done that
I've
yet.
been getting those.
Flash has been discontinued. Don't update.
Yes, that's why it's telling me to do that. It's like, get rid of this and start working. And I'm like, no. Anyways, so yes, the 4 survivors to activate 5 generators to then power an exit door to get out. The killer's job is to literally do that, is to kill those survivors. It's so much fun. Like, you can either play as a survivor or a killer, and it'll sort of dump you, or you can group up with your friends, cross-platform play, and play as 4 survivors. Or you can do a custom game and where you can bring 5 friends in, 1 plays a kill, the other 4 survivors, and then you sit there and talk shit on each other the entire game, which is my favorite way to play it.
Nice.
Do you play it with anyone in particular? Maybe in the chat?
In this chat, let's see. Oh, actually, well, in the viewer chat, yes, actually, Heel Hugs is not only one of the top ranked players in the game, because he legitimately has one of the highest rankings in the game generally, but is also an expert shit talker.
Yay.
And he does occasionally stream it on his Twitch channel, which you should check out as well.
Yeah.
It is glorious to watch, though, because he will just talk the most shit on anyone, whether he's killer or survivor. It's phenomenal to watch.
Well, I'll give him a shout out on the Twitch chat.
Yes. But yeah, no, I love the game. It has a lot of original characters that they've created. They've also brought in characters from other properties like Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Stranger Things. So it's a lot of fun.
Everything. Yeah.
A lot of them. There's a few they haven't brought in yet. But it is definitely worth it. It's very fun.
Matt, maybe you know this answer, or Steve. Did Friday the 13th come out before Dead by Daylight or after?
After.
Yeah, so they're trying to steal their thunder.
Well, that gets complicated, but I think Dead by Daylight, just in lieu of the fact that it has ongoing support and yeah, the Friday the 13th that got complicated due to rights issues. So let's not get into that. But I've always really liked asymmetric games, though, because they do present something, that's a little more interesting, especially when you have a overpowered, villain character or whatever, antagonist, and then like everyone's got to like learn how to navigate and everything. So that game intrigued me. Like, I think we did get it through PS Plus, didn't we? Like all of us,
did, yeah.
So yeah, no, that's definitely one I would have to try.
Because I definitely have tried it and I'm terrible at it. Just terrible.
It's just one of those things and I mean, the thing is the more you play it, because again, when you play not custom games, you basically get what things are called blood points, which you use to then upgrade your characters. Mm-hmm. It basically unlocks abilities and items for both the killer and the survivors. So like the more you play, the more you level, and the more you level, the better you get.
Right.
Are there like season passes where you get new stuff, or is it pretty much
they have
everything?
They have something that they're called rift passes, which every few months or so they'll release a rift, which is basically you can just get like skins, like unique skins and toys and all that, and like things to attach.
But mostly cosmetic stuff. Okay.
Almost exclusively cosmetic stuff, and you get like the Oryx cells, which is like the in-game currency that you can get those as you unlock. Nothing. Like you get this and you get a character. You'll get skins for characters, but you won't ever get unlock a character using the Rift Pass.
That's nice. That's cool. Anyone else here play this game? No,
yeah.
No.
If you want to get characters, they usually have they'll release like a DLC, which they release every 3 months. They do a DLC.
That's cool.
Nice.
Which you can buy. Like you can either buy the characters individually or you can buy the whole DLC pack, and it gives you like the map and the survivors and the killer at the same time.
That's awesome. I appreciate when a company continues to support a game and doesn't make you have to buy stuff, but like it's all like the thing I liked about Immortals Phoenix Rising is that none of the like you can play the whole game and you won't lose anything if you don't buy the DLC that comes with it, which I love. I think that's a great game.
Definitely, I recommend it.
That's cool.
A really fun one. I enjoy it. As online multiplayer games go, I enjoy it a lot because you can play solo or you can play with friends. Either way, it's entertaining.
I think
it's really intriguing.
Yeah, I think the thing that really separated this past generation with anything before is that this was the one where I ended up talking with more people online, like talking with friends, and that's definitely going to be integral to the game that I pick eventually. Let's go to Steve next for your favorite PS4 game.
It's pretty tricky because I guess I've been kind of obsessive about a very few number of games, but I think I would have to say it comes down to the one that restored my love of gaming because as some of our listeners may know, Anthem actually ruined gaming for me. I was so broken after that game. It was just a series of disappointments, like from various studios and one after another, and it was just kind of the last straw. And I was pushing the game on everybody too, because I was like really like, yeah, this is going to be it, guys. This is great. And I know there's going to be people out there who defend the game and say it's fun. Yeah, but it's fun for 2 weeks, and then it stops, So anyway, so I actually stopped gaming because of that game because I was so heartbroken. It actually broke my heart. And so the game that brought me back, I have to say, is Control. I've talked a lot about it. And yeah, if you haven't played it, I mean, it's a game I don't want to talk too much about because it's one of the things that made the game stand out was that the world is there for you to explore. It doesn't force you to explore it, but if you choose to, it's all there in the letters and the redactions and it was a living world. And also I'd like to add too, because yeah, you're this person exploring this weird bureau that studies and traps the supernatural. But there's more than the main plot going on. Like that's the thing I really liked about it is there's extra like cases and extra situations and just anyway, I don't really know what else to say. It's a game that doesn't hold your hand, and I appreciated that. And it wasn't so hard, you know, like a Demon Souls or something that you know, it was that you played it for the suffering, which I also appreciate too, because that was close on my list. But yeah, no, Control, it was a game that welcomed me back to gaming and I guess reignited that whole like wonderful experience of exploring and really connecting with something and just learning the raw skills and coming back at something and feeling like you're actually accomplishing something, you know. And yeah, I just loved it for the setting and the feel. And I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, it's one of those games that has like a fully realized world that you can find out more about just by reading things or listening to audio files. And it doesn't feel like it's tacked on like some games are. Like it feels like there could have been this whole story about this one item. And the fact that they I'm going to spoil this because fuck it, who cares? The fact that it connects to the Alan Wake world just blew my brain.
Well, that's not really a spoiler. That's just, it's like a fun thing. Because
it's an Easter egg,
you can go the entire game and not know that unless you kind of seek it out.
Well, the second DLC too, right? Has Alan Wake in it. But yeah. Again, you don't have to buy the DLC to appreciate this game. Like the game on its own is a beautiful single player experience that, you know, it from beginning to end is just phenomenal. And then I remember Steve telling me, once you get to this point, tell me what you think. And there was this one section of the game where it might have been one of the most fun experiences that I've had in gaming ever. And the fact that
I'm curious as to what that part was, but we'll talk afterwards.
Oh, it won't be
the maze.
It's the maze.
Yeah.
It's not a spoiler for anyone.
Yeah.
What it is.
Yeah,
but the maze was amazing. And it's just like, you're just like, what?
That was the moment when I wished I was actually a streamer and I had my face like on the screen because I was just like, holy shit, this is fucking awesome, you know. And I was just like rocking out. And that was the one time I regret like not having a camera on myself. So,
and that was right when I was starting to stream. Like I was starting to like figure things out, and I hadn't fully had this set up. So it's like, fuck, that was a moment. That was the moment I screwed. But it's coming out on the next generation in February, I believe, right? Like there's that whole messy thing.
Yeah, so it's despite the fact that I still recommend the game on the basis of it being a great game and that I do hold it in this high regard because it kind of saved gaming for me. I am a little bit annoyed at this sort of PS5 transition, so I've not been really paying too much attention to it. I'll probably get it on the PS5, but I'm going to wait until there's a big discount. They're not doing the thing where like if you own the previous one, you get the PS5 one, and they're being kind of dicks about like
that's kind of rude.
I thought
it's like the Ultimate Edition.
You get the Ultimate Edition, and then you get the upgrade, but not the base edition, which seems like that makes sense.
Yeah, it's one of the convoluted transitions, and people aren't too happy. So I've kind of not been paying attention to it on purpose, but
that's a little irritating since it was like 2019's Game of the Year.
Yeah,
like it's over a year old.
Yeah.
Like you know, like I get the logic because you want, especially because they're going to have to do a ton of like. Imagine the upgrade work to make that 5th gen compatible,
right?
And how gorgeous it's going to look with all the new stuff. I can understand they don't want to do it for free.
Yeah, and that was the reasoning they provided, but I still feel it wasn't totally.
It's still
on
a little.
level,
it's a little kind of.
I played it on PC, and I think ray tracing was already added. Like, are they not just porting the PC into the?
No, I don't totally buy the reasons they provided because they were kind of like, this is going to be like a different version with components that are not going to be part of the PS4 version. So it's actually a new version, and people weren't really buying it.
Well, I mean, especially I think with like the PS5 with like the feedback controllers and whatnot, there is some stuff they can do with it that would make it very immersive, which is awesome. and again, could justify why they would want to make some money from it.
I totally
But
forgot
not
about
like
that.
not like full price money, like, you know,
But,
$10
now I
the
wonder-
upgrade.
Yeah, I wonder if they are going to do the haptic controls because they're releasing for Xbox One as well. Like, are they going to do the full controller upgrade? Some games
knows?
have, some games haven't so far.
Who knows?
We'll see. And if they don't, that's a missed opportunity because
Yeah.
haptics on the PS5 are really something that sells me on games now.
Oh my god, yeah,
Mhm.
it's like the best part.
That's a consideration.
I don't know if I don't know if I can talk about that. Never mind. I can't talk about that. I forgot I have an NDA for that. Yeah, that's a great pick. I hope everyone here has played it, and if you haven't, sorry,
Shame on
Hockey
you.
was saying.
I love that. I love that. I played it just like, when the lockdown, that was the first thing I kind of picked up
Yeah.
when the lockdown started, and that I love the whole kind of Twin Peaks nod to it, and that this government agency dealing in the supernatural, and that the probably like the one story that always stuck out was with the enchanted item, and that it was that one guy who had to constly watch the fridge.
Oh God,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's usually done in shift by these workers and that, but as
one
the
has
system
taken
broke
over.
down, no one's taking over. It's been hours.
Yeah.
That
I felt so bad for him.
that
Yeah.
like Twin Peaks, Fringe, and X-Files all mixed into one. This amazing soup of delicious next gen awesomeness. Man, I
Yeah.
want to play
Yum.
this game again.
Yum,
Yum 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 yum.
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 Yeah, so February 2nd, 2021 apparently is the release date for the PS5 and
That's
Xbox
next
Series.
week.
Wow. Well,
No
I'm keeping
fan
my
for us.
eye on
Wow,
it. But
really?
yeah.
Yeah, February. Yeah, February 2nd is next week.
Oh god, it's already February.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I know. I should probably take down my Christmas tree. Anyway, let's move on over to
How dare you?
I'm gonna keep it up till my birthday. Marcus, what do you think? What was your favorite game of the PS4 generation?
Hey guys.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey. Man. Wow. So I had a big list, like a laundry list of games and stuff like that, because I was going through all my like favorite games and like all the games I really liked and all the like the highly ranked games and stuff. And everything that I have on my list here, that's like as my honorable mention kind of games, they are all better games than what I'm actually going to say is my favorite game. All of them are better. In fact, my favorite game isn't even a very good game. And but it is my favorite for a very specific reason, and I'll get into that. So my choice of my favorite game for last gen console is the Star Wars Battlefront, the first one.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay.
And the reason is, when it first came out, it was fun enough, you do your battle things, and it was okay. It was the first game that ever got me to buy my PlayStation subscription to actually be able to play online, and that wasn't even what sold me, because I didn't actually like doing that much. I played a few times and I just didn't care, and I completed the solo. I played the solo thing, and that was bullcrap. It wasn't that great. And it was done. And then it just sat on my shelf for a long time, and I forgot about it. And then it wasn't till a little bit after my buddy Ryan came by, and we were sitting in my house, and he's just like, "Oh, let's play a game." And I was like, "Okay." So I'm going through my list of games, and he's like, "Let's play the Star Wars game." So we put it on, and it is the only game that I have from the early days of my PS4 to this day. Today, I still play it all the time. Me and Ryan pick up that game, and we play it all the goddamn time, constantly trying to beat our times in survival mode. That's all we do. Our times are ridiculous now, and I love it. But it's the only game that I also have that, like, you can still play local, like, multiplayer, where you can still play local co-op multiplayer on your couch and just play and have fun. And I miss that more than anything else. More than anything else when it comes to gaming, I miss sitting on a couch with my friends playing a game in front of us going, "Oh, fuck, get out of here. Go. Yeah. Oh, shit, yeah." I miss that so much. So this game has, to this day, been giving us that. And I absolutely love it. And the survival mode is literally the only thing we play on that game. It's the only thing I like in that game. And we've played the same levels. We know the maps inside and out. We know the best strategies. We know the ways to go. All we do at this point is just try to get faster time. And if we fuck up one wave, we know we didn't get it. We're not going to get it this time. And we have gotten master on every single level. We have beaten our times on every level consecutively every time we hang out. We always beat at least one record every single time.
Nice.
And I love that game for that exact reason. And it is because as I was going through the list of because there's so many other better games than it that I've played, and other games that I like better as a game, sure, but when it comes to when I think about the across the entire generation of the PS4, what game have I played the most? What game have I owned the longest and consecutively played the most, and to this day still play consecutively? And it's fucking Star Wars Battlefront.
No, I can't even fault you on that, man. That's awesome. That's a great story because
is awesome.
of the emotional impact you. I know that at least me and Steve, maybe Hawk, have bought this game like 3 times. Was it 3 times that we bought this game?
Yeah, this is the first one we're talking about, right?
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, the very first one. The second one was garbage. The second one was absolute trash.
Yeah,
Although,
but yeah, in terms of
now it's good, which is very confusing.
Is it?
I'm playing it on PC right now, and it's wonderful.
Does it have a local multiplayer survival mode? No.
No, that's true. You are right. And yeah.
And honestly, I remember I bought Battlefront 2 for that mode, expecting it to be there. And when it wasn't, I literally sold the game the next day. I didn't want it.
Smart.
That was a smart
I did not want it, and I got a good chunk of change back. And I never looked back.
Yeah, the first one, that mode was a lot of fun. I can admit that I did play that one a lot, and yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we played
survival modes in general.
Yeah, we played a shit ton
survival modes are always
one,
fun.
right?
Yeah, we played a lot of the one.
One of the funnest experiences I always had was going over to a friend's house and just to play Call of Duty Black Ops, the zombie mode.
Yeah, zombie
The
mode.
zombie
Beside
mode,
each
yeah,
other.
fucking zombie mode. That's the other thing me and Ryan play the most of is zombie mode.
Yeah.
Because it's the greatest thing.
It is. And
Never
the
got
new one
boring.
is actually pretty good in Cold War. But
Is it?
don't get Cold War.
Okay.
I have to admit, like Battlefield, like when we got Battlefront 1, like we played a shit ton of it. Especially the Starfighter mode. I remember us thinking that the sound effects and the game design, not the game design, the graphics were really good, but the game design was sort of shitty. But we had a shit ton of fun with the ships. The multiplayer was all right, but like when we were playing co-op, like when we played together, we had fun, and we played it for a long time, and enough that we ended up buying it a couple of times.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on this game? I know we all played it.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was good. I mean, I think one of the things that made me dislike the second one even more was that the first one, you could see with the DLC, like those expansions were nice and colorful, and they like added like all the places you wanted to go and the characters you wanted to play. So, in terms of a progression, I mean, it was still way overpriced. Like, I'm glad I didn't pay full price for it, right? But and had you paid full price for like the season pass and everything, I think that would have been a little bit of a ripoff. But in terms of pure value now for what you get for Battlefield 1, I think it's a good Star Wars experience. And that co-op mode was like that. It kicked ass. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And Battlefront 2, unfortunately, it was like they stopped supporting it last year to do what other stuff. Who knows? Whatever the fuck they're doing.
For Battlefield. I think that's
honestly, if EA never makes another Star Wars game, I will be very happy.
Yep, I'm not getting into that, but I agree.
They made four or five games over 8 years. 8 years. What the fuck?
Yeah. I've got this meme that I was going to send you guys where it was like they had Lucas Arts. And they showed 4 games that they made in 1 year, including Republican Commando and like all these amazing
Commando, Star Wars. One of the KOTORs? The oh man, I saw this meme too, and I was like, this is 100% true. Yeah, fuck, I can't remember what the other 2 were.
Yeah, I don't remember.
1 year to do that.
There's a video like I'll send you guys if we're still feeling salty about it, but I think we're all in agreement where they showed like the entire progression of all the Lucas all the Star Wars games that were made over the period of like 10 years, and every year there was 2 or 3, right?
Mhm.
And like these EA guys, they came up with like 2 okay games and 2 sort of not so great games in 8 years.
And LucasArts always had at least one of those games good. That's the good thing. Like I remember the Force Unleashed games; those were fun. They weren't.
Force Unleashed was awesome. I fucking loved it. No, the story sucked, but the controls, like for the time it was. I loved the force push and pull and all that cool shit. I'm like, yeah.
Did you come over to my house when I first got it and we pulled down the Star Destroyer? Was that with you or was that with Jason? I feel like you were there.
Jason.
I feel like it was a bunch of us because I was like, I got the game finally. Fuck.
I feel like I might have been.
Yeah, it was a bunch of people. I
also remember I remember yes, it was because then I went and picked up. So I'm like, I don't know about this. Like, let's play it. I'm like, all right. And I was like, okay, I'm buying this. And then then I can't remember who I was living with. I think it was AJ. Yes, it was because he had the Wii. So we picked it up for the Wii. No, that game was fun as hell for the Wii.
Was it?
The story was completely different.
Use the force.
It was because you were swinging your lightsaber with one hand and controlling the force with the other one. It was fucking hilarious.
That's confusing. And I sort of want to try it.
Well, it was almost like first person-y at times, which was what made it kind of cool.
Interesting. That is a good pick. I do appreciate that. Battlefront. That was a fun game.
Yeah, it's fucking out of left field, man.
Yeah.
It is.
Speaking of games that may not be good but have an emotional connection, Hawk, why don't you go?
Yeah, I was thinking about this. Do
the game that we talked about. You know it's true.
I know.
It's gonna be my pick too.
I gotta go right back to the beginning in that the game that was the first game I pre-ordered when I put in my order for the PlayStation 4, and that was Destiny, the very first Destiny. And it's still probably like the emotional connection I have to this whole platform. Because like it was really kind of the first time I got into online gaming and that with a lot of other people and that and just like Eric and I reconnected after like so many years.
5 years or 5 or 6 years? Well, maybe longer. Yeah. When did we graduate? 2005. That came out in 2014. Geez, like 9 years. Fuck.
I know.
Yeah. And I only even met you guys because of that game. I wouldn't know you guys if it wasn't for Destiny. So
exactly.
Wow.
I know. It's crazy how much one game can actually change the course of your life.
Yeah.
And I still have a lot of fond memories of that game. It wasn't perfect by any means in that, but like there was something about it in that, and just like in acquiring like certain weapons like those exotic quests and that or some of these weapons that you were going for, they were so rare. It really kind of felt like some sort of almost like a D&D game in that, it's like, I've got this thing that nobody else has.
There's one of the stories I remember we had chatted about the other night while we were playing Destiny 2. Like we still play this universe. Like I think the lore and everything is incredible for it. Was we were recollecting about how like Galahorn was such like the item to get in the first year of Destiny, and it was so rare to get it that when one of us got it, we were just like, holy shit, it happened. You got it. Now we can beat the raid better.
Yeah, I know. It's like you had to plan like raids around certain people who actually had these weapons and that, and forget about like the Vex Mythoclast and that, because like, Jesus,
fuck that gun.
that was one of the rarest items in the game. It would only drop if you're playing the Vault of Glass raid and that was a big if in that. And Eric and I still feel burned about this one.
We never got
it on the.
Who was that? I can't remember.
I don't even remember in that. They got it the first time they ever played the raid. It might have been Richard. And it's like, hey, what's this gun that dropped? Vex Mythoclast. Everyone's like, no, no.
I like it was this is gonna be my pick as well. Like Destiny was such an important part of my. I feel like my gaming experience in general, because of, like Hawk said, it was my first multiplayer game, like massive multiplayer game, playing with a lot of people. We met a shit ton of people, like we met Bell and all these other people we still talk to. And I think one of the best and possibly worst experiences was doing the raids, but Vault of Glass was always a fun time. It was doing the other raids when people started getting angry at each other. But we had done Vault of Glass so many times that we were just so fucking good at it, and it was so much fun. Oh man, that was good
But
time.
I mean, like trying to get through them and that, it's like that was a game that took you into 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh God, yeah.
And I'd be like,
Yeah, those Friday nights.
those are the times when I'd be like, come on, we could do it. We could do it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Come on.
This is my introduction to Eric. It's just like, oh, Mr. Positive is like, we can do it. Come on, guys, just one more. I'm looking at the clock here. I'm like, okay, this thing's gonna take us 3 hours, so may not get anything. But he's so positive. Damn it.
Yeah,
One more. Fine, one more.
One more. Yeah. Hawk, like, it's such a... Oh, my God. Oh, wait. Fuck, I'm wearing a Destiny shirt right now.
Yeah, I know. Your Triumphs t-shirt. I can see. Eric has always gone for a Triumphs t-shirt like every year, every season.
Yeah, so Destiny 2, there's this... every year they have this list of accomplishments you want to do in the year, and if you do all of them, they'll sell you. I'm not going to say they give you, but they'll sell you a special t-shirt. Like, it has my fucking name on it and stuff, like my gamer tag, like that.
Yeah, that's sweet.
The community around Destiny is really great, despite Bungie sometimes not communicating with us, the fans. But the fans have always been really good and really salty in a funny way. Not like in a douchey way, like sometimes like
sometimes like with COD and that, they can get a bit douchey in that. No, there's something a little special about the Destiny fans and that, and they are loyal. Like they are really loyal to this game.
Yeah, enough that you could go away for a year and then one of them will accidentally jump back into Destiny 2 and then get everyone else to come back in. Sorry, Hawk. But as we're experiencing the grind again, I think it was also the first experience where I had felt the grind, like that mechanic. Like, I played Diablo 3 and I understand the loot mechanic and all, but the grind for Destiny was something unique and sometimes painful. I don't know if that makes sense to people.
Oh no, I was just thinking about the grind for the Chaperone, which was this amazing shotgun you could get, like Terminator T2 style in that, where you lever action. And like it was the final part of it though, that was the hardest in that, because it involved using the last word in Crucible to defeat other opponents, and that if you could, but every time you got killed, it subtracted like 2 points off you in that. Towards this thing. I ended up juking it in that because there was an event series that came out in that, the Sparrow Racing. And apparently I found out if you had the last word equipped in that, you could actually rake up all the points of it and that without ever,
Nice.
actually pretty easily.
My God, that's a lot.
Nice.
And this is what the great thing about Reddit, like I started going into Reddit because of things like this. Like people would be like, this is how you get this weapon. There's something else I wanted to say about Destiny. Destiny was also, I think, one of the games where I started listening in on game journalism a little bit more. Like this game changed so much of what I sort of do day to day in my life, which sort of sounds stupid. But anyway, I remember the whole like turmoil with Activision. Like they were Bungie was partnered with Activision and made them release things on like certain times, like so they may not have had time to work on something, and then it sort of was shitty when they came out. And the fact that they got to break away from Activision and are starting to move towards the direction that they want to do it for themselves, both good and bad, because we're not getting as many releases as we may have if they're a part of a bigger company, but it might be more meaningful changes to the bigger world of Destiny.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully. At least that's what we hope with Destiny 2. And considering I got Hawk to buy the special edition of the last DLC.
Oh, no.
I know.
You're incorrigible.
I know. I plunked down another $80 in cash and that. But I mean, geez, we're locked out. What else am I supposed to do?
Yeah,
I'll just add my 2 cents because I mean, I played so much Destiny in the first year, and I jumped in because there was this amazing like concept, like with the cinematics, and they were like going, this is going to be a 10-year journey, and I was like, wow, a 10-year game, like that. I was just like, this could be amazing, and like I got into a beta or something, and I was like, this feels so good, like the jumping around and the shooting, and I mean, and I hadn't encountered a lot of concepts. Destiny introduced the concept of raids to me because I completely missed WoW, right? I never played anything on that level, right? And also I don't know what you call it. In Destiny, it's called light levels, right? But things that involve leveling beyond normal conventional leveling, right? And so these were all like, they were all fresh and new, and I was willing to put in the time, you know, to a degree. I have to say, like, in the end, like, yeah, the grind was a little too much for me, for my tastes, you know. The rating got a little too stressful at a certain point for me and my skill level. And it taught me a lot about like these conventions though, you know, so that Destiny like encapsulated a lot of learning for me. And now I have a much better sense of like how much time I'm willing to put into things and like what my threshold is. So I give Destiny that credit because I really, I spent a good year and a half playing Destiny 1. Never got into 2, but I'm not going to say never, right?
It's free to play now too, which is nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I don't really have a reason not to. And it was a great game because it made a lot of friends, and a lot of things changed. Like you said, Eric, like it affected our lives, you know, in certain ways. I started to pay attention to journalism a little bit more as well. Like it wasn't just that game; there were other games that were messing with me in one way or the other. Destiny, in the grand scheme of things, wasn't as controversial as some of the other games that annoyed me, you know. But nevertheless, it did make me pay a little more attention. And Destiny was a very significant game for me too.
There was also something else about Destiny. Oh man, what was it? Grinding, blah blah blah. The 8-year plan, like they had done like a lot of what they wanted to, but because they had put it out on PS3 as well, they couldn't move as far forward as they wanted to. And then Destiny 2 came out, which is, you know, still quite good. But I like that they moved to the free-to-play platform, and I assumed that was going to happen a lot earlier than they did. And, things seem to be moving in a good thing. That is definitely my game that I would pick as my favorite game of that generation. Like I have Destiny hats, I have Destiny fucking keychains and books and fucking like I'm pretty sure I have a Destiny
bobbleheads and everything.
I've got a ghost.
Some other shit.
Yeah, no, I've got a ghost, talking ghost with like, you know, the original voice somewhere. So
we didn't talk about Dinklebot. Dinklebot was such a big meme when that came out. Like, man. And then they replaced him, which is unfortunate.
Wizards on the moon.
That wizard came from the moon. Fuck. And I think, Steve, that your rating experience would have been different if we had played with different people. Like we had some really high strung people we played with. And I was telling Hawk this the other day, like when my last dying gasp into Destiny 2 before I came back was earlier last year. And I was playing with just some random people I had met online, and it was one of the hardest raids of Destiny 2 at the time, and it was probably one of the most fun times I had because we were laughing and joking the whole time. It wasn't people who were just like, "Oh fuck, I can't believe you did that." I was like,
I know, dude. So they would get really sensitive and really snippy with each other and that, and then eventually it'd be like, "I'm going to bed," and then just leave you, and then leave you with like a 5-man party when you need actually 6.
There was one story I remember. Me and Hawk were playing this one raid, and this team decided to fucking troll one guy that was annoying them. Like they were all friends, so they started messaging each other, and they're like, "Yeah, we just started to troll him at the end because we weren't liking how he's talking to us." And then he dropped out of the thing because he rage quitted, and we're like, "That was our entry into this raid." And they're like, "Yeah, we didn't really want to beat it." I'm like, "We wasted fucking 3 hours doing this just so you could troll this guy." I was like, "Fuck, guys!" Like, it was that type of toxic gaming that we had moved away from in Destiny 2.
And I mean, unfortunately, that's the kind of that you find that in any game, any online community, you will find that. I mean, I said, as much as I love Dead by Daylight, there are some people that get very aggressive in that game, playing the game. I have gotten legit like offensive messages sent to me via through PS4. I'll get like a message pings up like, "Oh, that." I'm like, I don't know if I can do that with my own head, but but like people I do not know that will literally just message me this. Apparently the console community is far worse than like the PC. The Steam community is far worse because you can actually DM people while you're playing.
Right. Oh yeah, you can. Yeah. Just type
Console's console. Like you have to find someone's gamer name and then send them messages. You have to put some effort into it if you want to do it there.
Yeah. You really meant that. You
really are angry with me, but you can also then like penalize. Like you also get penalized in Dead by Daylight for rage quit. Like stuff like rage.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
it literally locks you out of matchmaking for like 10, like between the first, if it happens just once out of like random whatever, it locks you out for 5 minutes. If it compounds, it'll lock you out for progressively longer periods of time.
Right.
So basically, it punishes you for rage quitting. If you're going to rage quit, they're like, cool, you don't get to play.
Nice.
No, it's good.
I think they did that in Fortnite as well, didn't they? For rage quitters.
Sort of. Fortnite's a little trickier because their servers get so big that you can get booted randomly for any reason.
I think another thing that the PS4 generation taught me was to mute all and to have group parties for chat.
Right. Yep.
Not having to listen to a fucking 14-year-old or 8-year-old tell me how bad I am at COD is something I don't need. Mute all as soon as I start a match, or just jump into a group chat with people.
But sometimes it can be very entertaining.
Sometimes it's true. So that was my game as well. Like, me and Hawk shared the same game. I knew he was going to pick it, so I just piggybacked on as well. But I thought, like, maybe since we're only an hour and a half into the game, the show, we usually do 2 hours ish. Do you guys want to go over a couple of your runners up?
2 hours.
Yes, let's go with one. Do you want to just go through, like, just list them off?
I'll just rattle them off.
Go for it.
So,
hey, if you want to tell a story, go for it.
I had a pair of them. The Witcher 3, which I think everyone would agree.
That was on my list.
Yeah.
And again, a game that started out hiccupy at best, and then it got better over time. Which most people forget about. They look back
Cyberpunk Friends. You don't you remember?
I love CD Projekt Red. They have a history of releasing janky games, and then they fix it over time. So suck it up; it'll be fine.
Yep.
I actually, on a side note, they released the first big console patch for Cyberpunk 2 days ago.
Good?
It was 10 gigs.
You know what?
It was like, the patch. I was like,
oh god.
Oh, they fixed a bunch.
Like, I'm sort of surprised, but then I think about all the fucking Warzone patches I've gotten. I'm like, whatever, that's nothing.
Like, it didn't phase me because I'm like, oh, it's only 10 gigs. I'm like, no, wait, this isn't an online game. Oh, wow, that is awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt, phenomenal game. The DLCs, the whole thing is great. It's a game you have to invest time in that game. Even if you're racing through it, you are investing time.
60 hours, even if you're trying to just do the story.
And the other one, which is this is one that was near and dear to my heart. It was a toss-up between Dead by Daylight and this one. Was Infamous Second Son.
I loved it. I loved that game.
Because I was
so much fun.
Fan of the Infamous series on the PS3. And part of what sold me on it was I wanted to play the new one. I'm like, I have to get a 4 because I want to play the new one.
It's so pretty.
Yep. Yeah.
It was so worth it, and it was so fun.
That was the game that introduced me to Troy Baker.
Yeah, that was like, I think that was released within the first year of the PS4.
It was a launch game.
Was it a launch game?
Yeah, it was a launch game.
Yeah.
I think some consoles actually came with the game.
You're right. Yeah. I remember they pushed it. And again, the Infamous series is great. I wish they would make more of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
Especially
when it goes
with
to Tsushima.
Nothing wrong with that.
They made another series that was really good.
I want them to go back to that world, like that comic book world.
With the PS5 and the tech that they have right now, you get like an action RPG with morality mixed into it. Thank you, please.
I would give anything to be able to do what I did in Second Son with like better graphics and a little bit more like limitlessness. Like, my God, just like being evil, lightening up and just bam, like leveling a block.
Yeah, I would love to run through the Neon Power with ray tracing.
Yes, it would be so cool.
Like that chase around the city. I would love to see that with proper ray tracing. That would be insane.
I agree.
Have to
that is a good choice.
Just redo Second Son for the PS5 and I'll be happy. Just give us a redux on that and I'll be like,
who knows? After Tsushima, I mean, who knows, like whether they're going to continue with that or maybe they might go back, you know? I mean, it's hard to say, right?
Yeah. Sky's the limit for them right now. They kind of...
Yeah, they got two great franchises. So.
What about
they
you,
spend
Steve?
time on their franchises, which is what I appreciate.
So true. Right. What about you, Steve? What are your runners up if you had any?
Well, it's funny. You guys like picked the games that were more dear to your heart. I mean, Control definitely was significant due to like what happened with it. Although it is, I think generally recognized as a decent game. I'd have to say like the runners up for me would be Warframe, which was sort of my sort of like, you know, dear to my heart kind of thing. Although it has more to do with the fact that, I don't know, I just really love the amount of content you got just for, you know, this weird I don't even know how to describe it. And I'm kind of glad that Destiny 2 is kind of taking the same tack, you know, because I think that's a good way to go. Like once you got a nice solid basis, you know, for a game, and then you can sell cosmetics to the end of time, you know, people will reward you for that if they enjoy themselves. And yeah, for a free game, man, I dropped so much money to Warframe. I played that for like a year at least.
The developer is so cool too. Like
and
they're great with their fans, man.
Yeah.
Their media team is like really nice. I got to talk to D. Danielle a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
Like,
yeah, you mentioned it.
They're great people. And
yeah,
they're Canadian.
Yeah, London, Ontario. Yeah, no, that was a big part of it. It was like, I guess I was just exhausted from like buying games and being disappointed or having them not live up to my expectations and so on and so forth. And Warframe was just like, oh, it's this free thing. And then I fell in love with the community and fell in love with like the podcast and it was just nice. It was just nice to be playing a game with people who enjoy it and by people who enjoy it, and just it was just a nice time, you know. So that's sort of like my kind of like lesser game, but I think it was a great game. And then of course the other one I have to kind of mention, but someone else might pick it up, is Warzone, because I
didn't even think about
wasn't again got into that because it was free. Was like, this is really good, and ended up dumping tons of money into something I didn't intend to. You know what? I still haven't played the campaign. I played so every single thing. I know. Freaking Modern Warfare. Like, but I was just like, oh man, it plays so good. I played so much Warzone, so much multiplayer. I even played the stupid Spec Ops thing, whatever it was called, right? The co-op thing.
Right, Spec Ops.
Yeah.
And I played everything except for the campaign because I keep like wanting to save the campaign. I don't even know why I'm doing it. They're on the next game now already. So anyway, so that's my other special mention.
Better than the next game.
I know. Well, that's why I avoided the next one. I knew I should wait. But yeah, I have to give that a special mention because how many months of the lockdown did I play through that game, right? So,
months.
There you go.
All right, Marcus, what about your runners up?
I got a list of things. I mean, there's Ghost of Tsushima is on there because God damn, that game was incredible, so beautiful. Everybody should always watch it, like play it.
Yep.
The Witcher 3 was on there because it started off like Matt said, started janky and became one of the best games the PS4 has ever seen. Then for me, I also really loved like the Assassin's Creed series, but like especially the reboot series where they kind of got into Origins and Odyssey. Both of those games were really spectacular for me. And Shadow of the Colossus, the remake of Shadow of the Colossus, because I love that game and I still love replaying it. So that was a big one for me.
That's a good one to note too, because that was a good port. Like that was a really well made.
I haven't played it.
Yeah.
Oh, Eric, get a little bit of time, man. Like it's fantastic. It's so cool. Get a little bit of time, man. Come on.
Come on, man.
If you can carve out some time at some point, I would suggest if you can afford the time. And then I really also the Arkham Asylum series was always a big thing for me.
Yeah.
And while it started on the PS3, it then it migrated onto the next generation PS4.
Yeah. And
and then they gave you that, like, here's the master series of all of them together with all of the day one content and that kind of shit. And I still will replay those games from time to time, and especially original Arkham Asylum, as you know, as flawed as some of it is, and the story towards the end, like the steroid Joker, terrible. You know, but almost everything leading up to there was fantastic. The first time I had like the Scarecrow like mind fuck moment, I was like, this is so cool. Like, and that game paved the way for one of my other favorite games, Spider-Man. And that Spider-Man series is just so
oh my god,
damn good.
It's so goddamn good.
I don't know if I told you guys, I beat Morales a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
100%.
Yep.
Nice.
Like
nice.
I literally, it's one of the only times I've ever actually finished a full campaign 100%, because it's that good.
You want to hear something awesome? If you platinum the PS4 version of Spider-Man, and you pop in and you get the remaster when you get Miles Morales on PS5. You just start up that game, you get all of the trophies for PS5 as well. So I got a free platinum on the PS5 for just loading up the game. It's fun.
But the actual runner-up, like the second to my Star Wars Battlefront, was God of War.
Okay, good. I was going to say something if no one else mentioned it. God of War is without a doubt like. So Star Wars Battlefront is my favorite game because of what it gave me and what I still get from it. But as far as an actual, like, when I stop and think of a game and I think of what I love and like my favorite aspects of everything, the God of War series has always been a big thing for me. I started right from the get-go and I loved all of them. I've played all of them, but God of War 4, is basically just everything I ever wanted a game to be. It's it's in the series. It's 4. It's like the 7th game, really.
Wasn't there an actual numeral God of War 4 though?
No, there wasn't. It was God of War 3. Then God of War Ascension came out. But that's a prequel. Yes,
which was a free. So this is kind of technically God of War 4, and then the next God of War, I believe, is just a continuation of this. So that's still kind of the same game. But like it's Norse mythology, it's like the beauty, the open world, like it's everything I want from a game. And you gave me my favorite video game character in it, and then you gave me this open-ended, like there's going to be so much more. We can keep adding to it. There can literally be no end to this. We can just keep making gods. We can just keep doing this.
When they had the world, the map room where you can see the other worlds, and then you realize you can't go to them yet. I was like, you motherfuckers, you're doing this on purpose so I can buy the next game.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Yeah. I was gonna say I didn't mention Tsushima and God of War because I haven't finished them because of my own sort of like inability to finish things right now, which is a fact. I mean, that's what's been going on. But I have to say, like Marcus, God of War is very significant to me because I started playing the PS3 because of God of War. I went to a lot of trouble to try to like get like copies, of even the Vita ones to play, because I got so into the setting. And I had this idea just before the most recent God of War came out that I would actually play through all the games in chronological order.
Oh my God.
I never did it, of course. I never even finished the current God of War, but I still want to do that though, because God of War is that significant to me as a sort of a video game experience throughout my life through the PS3, PS4.
I would agree with that as well.
So, anyway,
I can't believe that they actually made, like, I remember the controls being so good on 3, and then when they said they were going to redo everything for the most recent one, I was like, oh fuck, I hope they don't screw it up. And they made it so much better. So much better.
Innovation.
It was the first real game where I was like, you can feel the weight of weapons like properly. Like that axe throw is magnificent.
The axe throw, and you can feel the whole screen, like when it does that little bit of a shake, that little, and it hits, and you're like, ooh.
And then when it comes back to you, there's sort of like that suction type feeling. I don't know how to explain it. And he's like, oh yeah, you felt that. Oh my God.
Also the boss fights, really, there were like 3, 4 or something like that were like kind of, you know what I mean? But they were so epic. Like the Boulder fight, goes down. It goes down as one of the best fights I've ever done in a video game, if not the best game. Like best fight. Like I just. It's so good.
You're making me want to reinstall it on my PS5.
I'm gonna replay it.
Yeah, because that was one of the free games for the PlayStation Collection.
It is. We all have it.
Yeah, I still have all the other God of Wars installed on my other systems ready to go. They were all like ready to go, like just
your Vita's just sitting there like, play me. I'm a Vita. No one touches me anymore.
No, not even the Vita one. I got the PS3 version of the Vita one, so everything was like ready, like chronologically. It would have been Ascension, and then I don't remember what the exact order is.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, so bad.
See, God of War is one that I really want to go back and actually complete everything. It's just, but I'm like, it's so much time, and I'm like, but what the hell else am I doing?
I I went back to it just to beat the Valkyries because
That's the one thing I never.
Oh my god.
Because I hated those fights.
I loved them all. The Queen Valkyrie was the worst fight I've ever been in a video game.
Yep.
Like I've never replayed a fight so many times only to lose every single time and just scream and yell and just go, okay, let's do it again.
It was like Souls levels of difficult.
Like you knew it was your fault too. It's not like fuck, this is too hard.
Fair.
Like
it was
the
one,
controls
if you
are
made
so
one
good.
mistake.
Fuck.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Or if you didn't equip the right like gauntlet like kind of pieces, you knew you fucked up. And it was I loved it.
Games like
Loved
that.
it so
Fuck.
much.
You're making me want to play it again. Hawk, let's do your runners up.
Yeah.
My runners up for everything PS4 related, it was always the Hidetaka Miyazaki games, the Souls-based games.
Yeah, of course.
Because there was always this one-upmanship with them, and that like he did the original Demon Souls for PS3 and that, and then Dark Souls. Left the series and that he left it for, number 2 to somebody else and that and then refocused all his energy into creating Bloodborne, which
I hope they make a sequel to that game.
I don't.
I love that game so much.
If they never did, it would still be
It'd still be
amazing
fine.
in that, because it was such an encapsulated universe in that. Like I still don't know what the hell was going on in that.
I've never gotten further than 15 minutes into that game.
Oh
I
man,
can't. I can't.
Me, Steve, and Hockey and Shells used to play this game together.
I can't. I've tried. I just can't do it.
Oh man,
It was so
we should
good.
do.
I mean,
I sort of want to now. God damn it, this list is making me want to play all these games again.
Yeah, I know. Well, see, I purposely left some out because I was like, these guys are going to bring them up, so it's good. Yeah. So Bloodborne, there you go. That was on my list too.
Yeah. Anything else, Hawk, on yours?
Like I said, it was always a release by him, and that like when I heard Sekiro was coming out, and it's like he just did like another just a completely, he did the basic mechanics of the Souls games and that, but then he just upped it again.
Yeah.
And that created a completely unique experience in that. So
Nice.
I can't wait to see what he does on the PS5.
Same,
I
same.
can't even imagine what he's going to do on the PS5 at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
Did
Demon
he do
Souls
the
is
Demon Souls?
no, he didn't. That's just it's the same people who did Shadow of the Colossus rejigged Demon Souls. So he's actually not involved with that. It's just those guys are really good at recreating and updating the games, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, whatever original thing he's going to bring to PS5 is going to be amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a complete like kind of remaster and revamp for the PS5 and that, but no additional content or lore.
No.
So
Interesting.
No, it's just a total transplant.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anything else, Hawk, or should I do my runners up?
I think we should move on to you, Eric.
Sweet, because I didn't get my own original game because I jumped on yours. Witcher 3, obviously. Spider-Man, obviously. God of War, obviously. Those are all amazing games. Did I say Spider-Man? I said Spider-Man as well.
You said
obviously.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
One game that blew my mind, blew Matt Moore's mind, Final Fantasy VII, the remake. I never thought that they could improve upon that game. That game was, in my mind, when I played it, perfect. When I was that 16-year-old kid playing it on, I played on PC because they used to release PlayStation and PC games sometimes.
Yeah, they make you buy 5 times.
Yeah. So I played that game and it was a special place in my heart. It was my entry into Final Fantasy. My real entry. I played Final Fantasy 2 back in the day, but not really got into the lore and everything like 7. And the fact that they improved it and expanded upon it, I never thought was possible. And now, God, I hope I'm alive when the next one comes out. 'Cause who knows when it's going to come out.
Fair enough.
A game that had a very significant, I want to say it was very important to the PlayStation, was Rocket League. It was a game that was free for PlayStation Network, and it was this. It's such a silly concept. Like you're a little robot, you're a little rocket car, you're playing soccer. But it was one of those super addictive games that is still stupidly popular today. And that game came out, what year was that? 2015, and it's still as popular as it was then.
Yep.
I remember playing,
I still can't control it. I mean, you guys had so much fun with that game. Like it was like Destiny or Rocket League. Those were like the two. Like that was it, right? But like I just didn't know how you guys did it. You guys just knew how to like bend those balls. I couldn't do it.
he
We're
said
just
what he
not
said.
doing phrasing anymore.
Oh, he said what he said.
I gave up. I said it.
I'll say what I said.
One
I
of the
heard what
best,
you said.
one of the best Metroidvania games ever is Hollow Knight, and it was
Yep.
just released on the PlayStation. I think one of the free games last month or the month before. If you haven't played Hollow Knight, it's a 2D cell shaded cartoon-esque Metroid game. And I don't really want to explain the story, but it's one of those games where if you fuck up in a boss fight, you know you fucked up because the controls are
it's
that
your
tight.
fault.
I remember streaming it. It was one of my early streams, and Steve and Hawk were watching it, and I got so angry at this game, but I knew it was my fault. And that's the thing that hurt even more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was so good. But if I was playing that game and I need to go into a little Zen mode, I would play Tetris Effect, which is probably one of the best Tetris games ever. And I have it actually again on my PC because they have a multiplayer updated mode, and it is fucking so pretty, and the music is so chill that I have the soundtrack still on my phone. I'm almost done. Don't worry, I'm almost done.
It's been a great generation. I mean,
All these games are all really good, and like even the ones that are sort of shitty, like Destiny 1 and Battlefront 1, they're still special places in our heart because we had fun with them. I also really love Destiny 2. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about that. But there is, what is this game? Oh, one of the best games ever was the sequel to my favorite game ever, which is The Last of Us. So Last of Us 2, maybe one of the, I don't want to ruin it because I know Marcus is playing it right now, but the storytelling is so good. The acting is so good. The controls, the everything. And the fact that it was a game that made me, I don't want to say feel bad, but there are moments where I was like, oh God, no, don't make me do this. Oh, you're going to make me do this? Fuck. Yeah. And then there are days where I still think about the implications that you go through in that story, the things that happen.
I can already imagine, like I'm already feel affected, and I'm only like I'm like 10% into the game, maybe, or like
seen nothing yet.
Yeah, when you hit halfway through, and then you realize there's this whole other thing that happens, you're just like, fucking hell! Like it's
my wellness isn't high enough for me to. I need to improve my wellness height a little bit before I take that game on. So
me and Hawk,
not for me right now.
Me and Hawk were lucky enough to talk to one of the actors in The Last of Us Part 2, Ian Alexander, and I was watching to one of his streams earlier this week, and he was talking about how his performance was so sort of informed by his own life, and like. It's so beautiful and so heartbreaking, and it's haunting, and it's the best. Naughty Dog does the best storytelling out of any game company that I can think of, because not only was that like a perfect story, part 1, part 2, but also my final game, Uncharted 4, I think is the best that Nathan Drake could ever do. Like the story of him and his brother was so personal, the graphics, the gameplay, all top notch, like Naughty Dog always does. The score, it's a great game. Obviously beautiful, but it brought so much emotion to this character that we just sort of saw as this Indiana Jones-esque character, but there's so much more to him now after this game, and I appreciate that a company will take the time to make something feel more real, like and Naughty Dog is my favorite game company out of anything, so yay, Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
I don't think I missed anything. I said Final Fantasy, obviously. There are others, obviously, that I enjoyed, but nothing as deep as maybe those Naughty Dog games and Final Fantasy and Destiny.
Lost Legacy.
So
awesome.
This is a great list, and it makes me want to play all these fucking games.
Yeah, honestly, I just kind of want to play everything. So, out of all the games that were mentioned today, like I have not played Control, but now I'm dying to play Control.
Me too.
Like but here's the thing. I didn't like the second Steve mentioned it. I was just like, I think I've heard of that, and then I looked it up, and I was like, no, wait, I haven't heard of this game. What is this game?
I'll send you one trailer that doesn't give anything away, because that's the key thing, is that you just get the feel of it from it, and then you'll know.
Okay. Good, because and as soon as you guys started saying Twin Peaks, X-Files, that kind of shit, I'm like,
Fringe.
How How have I not been playing? Oh God! So yes, I need to play this game.
Mark, I can tell you this right now. Once you start playing that game, you will make extensive use of your 3D printer to start making replicas.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Out of
Ooh, I
everything.
want some of that.
Oh my God.
Because the gun you get in that game, it's just kind of polyhedral enough that you could print it on a 3D printer and make it look fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I can make anything from a 3D printer look fucking awesome.
But this especially, once you see it, you'll be like, yeah.
I'll commission
I'm gonna point something out. See the blue bins up at the top here, like those two blue bins?
Yeah.
Those are filled with 3D printed things that I have not even begun to put together or finish.
Yeah.
I have another 3 boxes like that in my storage, like somewhere else in the house, filled with 3D prints that have not been put together and not been finished and painted. I have so many things to catch up on.
Wow.
Now the question is, did you 3D print those bins to hold the 3D printed stuff?
No, that's stupid.
Is it though?
Is it though?
Is it?
I'm not so
You
sure.
can make it look like a loot box, though, right? Like one of those.
When 3D printing costs as much as it does, like it's cheap. Don't get me wrong, it is cheap in the long run. But I mean, holy shit! Like a box like that would cost me $40. So I just go to the dollar store.
yeah, fair. All right, let's throw this out to our listeners. Was there any games that we missed on our list? So you know what? These are favorite lists. Tell us what your favorites of the past generation was.
Hell yeah.
Let us know on
Doesn't
all our
matter if it's
socials. Yeah, who knows? Two of our games are really bad. So
Yeah.
bad is subjective. Let us know in all of our socials. We also have an email. That's all in the post credits. You know that if you've come here before. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Matt Moore. Thank you, Hawk. Thank you, Marcus, for coming out and chatting about our favorite games of the PS4 generation. I know we have maybe some things planned for the future. We're not quite sure, but when we get there, you'll find out.
I think we have like a stunt episode or something on the books.
Did we never do
Oh
that?
yeah, there's a stunt episode.
we haven't done that.
Oh shit!
I was gonna bring that up as a joke during the news part, but I was like, it's passe. So 2020
Every
now.
time we tried to do it, something horrendous happened, and we had to talk about that instead. We would just run out of time.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely have our WandaVision episode coming up soon. There's only 9
better watch
episodes, I think.
9 episodes.
I'll try my best to actually watch television.
Yeah, we only do every 2 weeks.
We'll do a recap on that because I think they're planning on ending that around the time that they wanted to release something. I think Mouth of Madness or Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, but I think this time it's going to be Black Widow. Are they actually going to do that?
No, Widow's on its own timeline because they have to get it out.
No, I think they just want it out around the time just so that they can always have Marvel in our minds.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's on the shelf.
We'll talk about this later. Thank you guys for coming and chatting. Thank you all out there in the interwebs for listening to us. We will talk to you guys soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Well, that's it for us this week on Geeks with Kids. If you want to get a hold of us, you can send us an email at podcast@geekswithkids.ca. And don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/geekswithkids. Follow us on Twitter at geekswithkidscn. Check out our pics on Instagram at geekswithkids. And you can find all of this good stuff on our website at www.geekswithkids.ca. So if you like what you hear, why don't you hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. This podcast can be found on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube, and your favorite podcasting app. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.